I was in an abusive relationship that not any of my family knew about. When they saw me, I was, fun, laughing, but on the inside, I was pretty much dying, because I was, being abused, not just physically, but verbally, emotionally, mentally, the whole 9 yards. I had it all. And no one found out until after my husband passed. I think I saw signs and I didn't pay attention before we got married. When you feel like you just so in love that you just try to play it off and like, oh, it's going to get better and he's not going to, really, be like that once we get married. But no, actually the day we got married, it took a whole turn for the worse. The day of the wedding, the day we got married. The day we didn't go have a big wedding or anything. It was just went to the courthouse and we got married, headed home, and when we got home, he stated that he wished he had, he hated he had gotten married and he wished he hadn't married me, and he pushed me down and didn't want me to talk with him, said don't speak to him, don't talk to him. I was like, I'm so confused because I'm like, what happened? We went from just getting married to all of a sudden you cursing me and talking down to me and being like verbally abusive. And then from there it went to throwing me against walls and punching me and choking me, and so it just escalated. I couldn't believe how he was so mean to me. And then on Sunday when we got to church, it was like I was his angel. This is my queen, this is the love of my life. Those were the things that he would say to the congregation. And then we would get in the car and he wouldn't even speak to me. He wouldn't even talk to me. People, they're so shocked when I say that my husband was a pastor. There was a part of me that began to start feeling like it should be more, that I shouldn't have to go through what I went through, because not only did it hurt me, it hurt my son. I felt like I neglected my son because he was jealous of my son and did not want me to have anything to do with him. Because when I would spend time, or my son and I would do things, then he would be angry because I went to a football game with my son, or I went to hear him play in the band, or whatever activities he was doing. It caused friction between us for that reason. And then it caused friction with my son because he felt like he was being neglected because I put a man in front, in front of him, when it should have been all three of us working together and spending time together and doing things together as a family. We went to a reception. One of our members at the church, their son had gotten married. The reception, it was on a Saturday night. We went and we talked and we laughed. We were sitting at the table with some other members and just really, like I said, just really had a really nice time. Well, when we got home, just out of clear blue, he said, I'm leaving. I'm gonna pack up some of my clothes, and I'll come back and get the rest of it. And so I'm sitting on the bed because I don't even know where this came from. It was just out of clear blue. So after he finished talking, like I said, I just sit there on the edge of the bed. He finally got some of his thing. He said, well, I'm getting ready to leave. So, but I'm thinking, thank you, Jesus. He finally leaving. I was like, Lord, you worked this out. That's what I'm saying to myself. Never voicing anything while he's standing there. And so he went, I can hear him going down the hall, and I went out the door, but I never heard the door literally close. And so I just I just pulled myself back to the head of the bed, and I sit there, and I was thinking like, wow, this was just too easy for this to go this good. It wasn't even 5 minutes later, a couple of minutes, he had some alligator boots, and he picked up the boots, got to the door, he turned around, and he threw the boot at my head. And before I could move, he dived on top of me, and he just began to choke me. I'm steady saying, please, I can't breathe, please turn me loose. And he was constantly choking me. I just knew, all I said was, God, just please take care of me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And it's like, all of a sudden, he just turned me loose and threw me across the bed. And I began to cry because I was trying to breathe. I told him, I said, I can't breathe. I said, I feel like I'm dying. My chest is closing up. I can't breathe. He said, I don't care. And he said, and you're not gonna call nobody from your family. And I'm just sitting there, and I was like, Lord, if you let me if I get out of here alive, I'm not coming back. And he made sure I didn't leave. He sat at the door all night, but he had to go preach that morning. So he got up, he got dressed. He asked me, so are you coming to church with me? Now I'm bruised up, neck swollen, his handprint all over me. And I said, are you serious? Do you think I'm going to church looking like this? And he said, you better be back. You better be here when I come back. Which I was afraid to leave. But I was like, Lord, I'm getting out of here. If it's any way, I'm getting out of here. And so I didn't know if he was, if he was gone. I said, he's gonna probably make a circle and come back just to check to see if I was gonna leave. I saw him finally go to the corner and turn, but I kept my robe on. And I ran outside, and I started putting some clothes in a bag. And I put a few in, and I run back inside, and I couldn't run because I was so sore and hurting so bad. And I finally got enough clothes, and I got some of my son's clothes because he wasn't there. And I went to a hotel. I didn't even go to nobody because I knew he was gonna start looking for me. So I checked into a hotel, and I stayed in a hotel about 3 weeks. And that's how I ended up leaving. Eva just invited me. She was like, you need to just come and listen to other women and listen to their stories and see how they got their healing. And I didn't really want to talk about it, and that's what she kept, the only way you're gonna get healed, Sharon, is to start telling your story and talking about what happened to you. And she was right. I started feeling better. I started thinking more of myself. I started coming back out to being the person that I was before all of this happened. And so now I think I've become, as my sons all say, you become so independent now, so that can't nobody tell you nothing now. I'm very aware, very precautious. I'm always paying attention now, very observant of men. That, I'm listening now to my inside, and I'm listening to God's voice to tell, no, that's not what I got for you. And I'm very, very happy with who I am now.